Good morning, good afternoon, good night. I don't know what time it is, whoever's watching this, but I just wanted to give you a little update on my pain specialist yesterday. I had to drive a couple of hours to see her, but luckily I have some family and friends that live close to, where I have to have my appointment, so I could just stay there the night before and then head to my appointment after my psychologist I had in the morning. She was really lovely. That's like the good first start. She's a nice person to talk to, at least. The fact that she was good to talk to is an amazing start. The fact that she was listening. We were trying to she was going through some things that she thought could have been, what causes endometriosis in people's bodies. She did mention the good old retrograde menstruation. And I was like, okay. I was like, really? And then she was like, yeah, I've seen this myself, and I didn't have the energy to get into that. But, I wanted to hear the rest of what she said. I wasn't just about to get up and walk out because she mentioned retrograde menstruation, as much as sometimes you want to, but, I think it's really important to hear people out. Everyone's still learning, and that's a really big thing to remind yourself of. Some of these doctors are trying really hard to learn what they can and up to date their knowledge, but they are also only given so much. So she also went on to explaining how she thought it could have been more of a genetic sort of reasoning, and obviously we just didn't get into all of that. That's quite political. That's all still getting very much still figured out and sorted. So yeah, not what we were there for. She asked me about, we were talking about mood, pain sensitizers, I should say. So pain sensitizers. So you've got your mood, your anxiety, stress, poor sleep, exercise, and, your hormones and stuff, and opioids and everything like that. So these things like that can obviously raise and lower your pain. I'm not someone that's there for someone telling you that your pain is in your head or it's because of this, and this, because this happened to you in life. No. I think it's so important to make sure you're doing, as much as you can with your mental health, I suppose, seeing your psychologist if you can, calling Lifeline, whatever you have that's sort of available to you. Make sure you're constantly working on your mental health so you can respond, I guess, properly to things like that. I hate being told, it's central sensitization or it's because of this trauma and blah, blah, blah. No, that's not that's not it. We figured out it's because there's an extra uterus and a bunch of adhesions and endo there. That's fucking why. So, sorry. So obviously all these things, aggravate your pain too, though. They can make it, just raise your pain receptors through your body and put your body into a high alert sort of mode, put you in survival mode. You're not necessarily, your body's not processing everything like it's meant to be. So she actually asked if I was going to see a psychiatrist or if I had seen one before. A psychiatrist I have not seen before, but I am actually booked in to see one in a couple of months because for a long time I guess wanted to get myself assessed for a couple of things, but also mostly, I guess now when my body is going through all this stuff and my mind is ticking and going crazy, while I'm at my worst, I can't handle things like I used to be able to. So I just want to understand my mind more and figure out if there's other things I need to be doing to, I guess, get myself moving and more active again, because it's not all depression and anxiety, it's not all endo, sometimes there's just another little underlying thing that could be causing you some trouble. So, sometimes it could even just be a mixture of everything being so high. So, yeah, it's definitely important to, listen to your body if that's something that you need to do. If you think you need to go and speak to somebody, even if it's just making that first step to go and see a psychologist. It's a big one. It's a hard one. I wasn't going. You could not make me go. I wasn't going to talk to someone. The first few times, all I could think about how bushy his eyebrows were, and I was just so frustrated. I don't know why. But then, you get a bit more comfortable and things start to ease. Not everyone is that lucky to just see someone and be like, oh, cool, we bond. Like, let's talk about life. Like, I understand that it's so hard to find someone that you can, you know, really talk to in certain situations. So it's important to find those things, because when you understand your mind a bit more and your body, I just think you understand yourself more. Like, you can learn to understand your pain more and your body, and it just helps with so much. And it will help you be more brave and more, I guess, stern when you need to be with a doctor. Like, if you feel like, oh, like, I can't say that to a doctor. Like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can stop them. You can ask them a question. If that doesn't sound right, ask them. Do what I did yesterday. Just be like, really? And then they might say something else and be like, you know, I'm still explaining, blah, blah. But I think, yeah, when you are a little bit more in touch with yourself, it's a lot, I guess it's a bit better. It's easier to stand up for yourself when you need to in those situations. And let's be honest, unfortunately, we deal with a couple of those sometimes a week, sometimes a day. It's just hard sometimes. But anyways, so what we are planning to do is, obviously, because I'm only about 5.5 weeks post-op now, I'm still taking, you know, my breakthrough medication. Like, I've been taking Polexia and I've been taking Endone. I hate both of them. I would really like to take neither, but as time's gone by since surgery, I've been able to lower them, so that's really important too. I guess one thing that her and even my GP talk about quite often, and this is obviously a very important thing when it comes to medication, but your dependency on certain opioids or just anything really, like, your body can start getting used to having that there, and when it's not there, it can, you know, go through withdrawals. And, you know, talking to my pain specialist yesterday, she's like, it literally will change chemicals into your brain. Like, it changes chemicals in your brain. Like, you can't do anything about that. Like, if you are going through withdrawal, like, there's something in your brain that's happening that you just can't control, and that's just not having that exact drug. So I personally haven't found that I've gone through any withdrawals when I've had to, over the years, go on and off medication. I have found, though, I guess, I've been taking, you know, immediate release Polexias on top of my other medications for on and off for about 1.5 years. They don't really recommend taking anything like that long term, because it's really not great for your body, and you've got to think about the side effects and the effect that these things have on your brain. I remember when I first had a surgery, or first started getting all of this sort of sorted, I was getting a lot of Endone, and I could only take it for about a week. And if I took it for longer than that, I started to get really anxious and my depression started to kick in, and it was not like it seeped in quickly. It was like, bam, like, it's there. So I know that they have an effect on my mental health. I guess it's just been so low, I haven't felt that shift for a long time. So obviously, to sort everything out, I need to sort my mind out a bit as well, continue doing what I'm doing with everything like that. But keep lowering my breakthrough meds. I also take Polexia, the slow release, morning and night. So I've been on that for about a year. 10 second, Tom, I just lost my train of thought. But yeah, so the Polexia is what he put me on morning and night. But that was one of the medications that he, you know, maxed me out on to the degree that he thought he could. And then that was just, you know, as you are. So obviously, yeah, I think when I first made this page, I was like, I'm going off everything. I'm not having hormones. I'm having nothing. I was wanting to get a hysterectomy back then. I had no idea what was happening. Like, we were with the understanding that my ovaries were just stuck to my pelvic wall, and I was having a lot of pain with that. Turns out I had a lot of adhesions and extra uterus. I'm sorry, I keep losing my train of thought. But yeah, I was really determined to go off all of my medication. And then I started seeing this new gynecologist, and she was explaining, obviously, you know, with where I was at and my pain and my mental health, like, it was really best for me to not have a period, because I'm sure, as we all know, they are a really excruciating time. But yeah, they debilitate me even more. And with how much I was already sort of debilitated, we were like, it's best to skip that. So I was with the understanding of that as well, and I was like, let's do that. Sure. It was a new progesterone tablet that they, I guess, had been testing to see, studying if it actually helped minimize the lesions of endo. I don't really know what the go is with that, but I don't think it's necessarily changed anything in my body for that reason, but definitely stopped my period, which is great. But then, yeah, I guess I just had to unfortunately manage it with, sometimes it just gets to a point where you need medication, and that's okay. Like, that's fine. Some people unfortunately can't handle a lot of these medications and the side effects. So, you know, I guess I'm lucky I don't get a lot of the physical side effects of these things, but I think maybe I get a little bit of the mental side effects. So we are eventually, I'm going to go back and see her in 3 months. So in this next 3 months, I'm going to obviously try and get a bit better with my movement with my body and get into a bit more of a routine with that now that I'm being able to move around a little bit more. I've got the okay to swim and walk and, you know, do all of the stuff. So obviously doing it gently and at a good pace is very important. But I'm definitely going to be altering that at some point. At the moment, I am just too heightened still after surgery, and you need to really be in a good mental state to be altering medications, especially ones like that. So you need to just make sure that you are up to it. I know a really big thing that you need to look out for with endometriosis, you know, any opioids really, like, they cause a lot of constipation. So obviously these are causing a lot of extra bowel issues for me, and staying on top of my fiber and trying not to get constipated is obviously an extremely big thing for me, and something I try and stay on top of. But sometimes you just can't help it. Like, your body will just go from constipated to like this flood of diarrhea, and it's awful and it's terrible, and it's not releasing what you need to release. It's just excess stuff going around, you know, what's built up in your bowels. So I think that's a really important thing to take in as well with this stuff, is like the effects that they have on your bowels. And unfortunately, when your bowels aren't working, like, your bladder's not going to work properly either. It adds more pressure and just things getting inflamed. So it is really important to try and minimize your constipation, like, as much as you can. And we also talked about my Cymbalta, which I am using now as my antidepressant, but we also were trying it as, you know, a nerve block for my pain. I take it morning and night, but we've shifted that to just morning, because some people can have issues with Cymbalta, especially at nighttime. It can make them a little bit more, I guess, on the go. So it's not really great at night. So I don't really notice much of a difference because I'm just like pinging always, apparently. But yeah, definitely be good to see how that works. So I tried that this morning, and, you know, obviously I don't know much of a difference right now, but hopefully over the next week or so that might make a bit of a difference to my sleep. Obviously, because I'm on a lot of medication that makes you drowsy. I've got also my medicinal cannabis and stuff. My doctors don't necessarily want to refer me anything for sleep, which I'm very okay with. I don't necessarily want to take any more tablets, but melatonin, I know that can be a bit of a topic of conversation. Some people be like, yeah, you know, it helps a little bit, and some people don't find it helps at all. I have been told by countless people, so I'm going to be doing this very soon, to get some melatonin online. And that's also something that my pain specialist said too. She was mentioning that there's been a study that has been started about it, and melatonin, and how it can help people with endometriosis and their sleeping, and just, you know, obviously tension throughout the body. So that would be interesting to see, and I'm intrigued to try that. Obviously, the thing with pain specialists or seeing doctors is you might get referred a couple of medications at a time, and that could be a lot. You know, it's hard to start on a couple of medications at once, especially if they're a bit of a heavy one, because you don't necessarily know what's doing what to your body. So it's really important to do it all very slowly and give yourself time to tap into like how you're feeling and what's shifted, if anything has shifted at all. This is so long. I'm sorry, it's not as long as I intended, but I really wanna get this out to you guys. Just get some information going. Let you guys maybe learn something new, try something different. I don't know. But another thing that we did is she has referred me to a gastro. I haven't seen one for probably 4 years. They were, I guess, seeing if I had endo in my bowel, but also that was a big one for Crohn's disease and bowel cancer. That is what it was mostly in regards to. They were trying to see if that is what, you know, my symptoms were from. So I was lucky to find out, like, it's not that serious yet. So that's good. But she wants me to go see this gastro. I'm finding it's really good. These people have their people that they like. And it's taken me about 5 years to find doctors who are listening, and I've had some weird experiences to get here, but it's like, find your team that supports you and that have their strong sense of strength where they can help you as well, because that's really important. But she, referred me to this gastro in Ipswich, which is about an hour from me. Someone that she recommended, so I'm going to trust the process with these doctors I'm working with now, because they have been incredible. And as much as sometimes they've said a questionable thing, they have always shown to me that they are trying to learn and that they respect that the knowledge that I have and what I've been trying to learn myself. So people like that are who you want in your corner. She wants to see more so, I guess, not so much if there's endo in my bowel, because I don't know. But anyways, it's more to check the function of my bowels, because obviously I have a lot of trouble going to the bathroom, and that's been going on for a long time, you know, before I started taking these heavier opioids. So I think, it's really important for me to figure that out, because she's not great. She's not great, but, you know, just take it all as it comes. She also referred me to another dietitian, but I have already been seeing one, and I haven't gone back to her for a little bit because I haven't been able to move forward on what she's asked me to do. So I need to get better with my eating, actually feed myself. So I don't need someone to be telling me I need to have all this extra stuff right now, because it's information overload and I don't need that. And that's when you get overwhelmed, and that's when you, I don't know, I guess, stop trying to better everything, I suppose, or trying to manage it, because it's too much, and that's okay, and that happens. It really happens. So I think, though, if you can try and minimize causing that, that's really important. Like, just don't put yourself in that position. But I honestly think that was kind of it. That's all we sort of got through at that point in time. We went through all the medications that I take, some that I've taken before, I guess some of my past with my medical history. It's really important to get all that stuff out, especially when you're working with a pain specialist and they might be, I guess, you know, prescribing you things. Got to make sure it's okay for your body and that you can take it. So yeah, we will start lowering Cymbalta soon. Just got to get a little bit more strength back myself and be able to break off those other medications. I'm really looking forward to that, because I'm also really sick of going to the doctor to get more. But again, I'm lucky my GP is very supportive, but she is also very worried about all these tablets that I'm taking, and you know, it's a valid worry. So I'm just trying to, oh gosh, please don't let me think I'm shaming anybody taking medication either, because trust me, I take that much. I just personally feel that some of it doesn't really make me feel great, and a lot of it has caused me to lose myself a lot, and become very out of touch with myself and a lot of other things, and that's not something, not a way that I want to live or a way that I can live. It's like caused a lot of distress throughout relationships in my life, and that breaks my heart. But unfortunately, I have to go through it and get through this, like, stuff with all these medications. I'm sorry if you feel crazy, but you're not. Sometimes it's overwhelming, and there's a lot of stuff. So these medications too. Before you go telling yourself you're crazy, make sure you've read up on what you're taking. Be a little bit more gentle on yourself, and I'm probably telling myself this at the same time because I'm the meanest to myself. But yeah, I hope if anybody else is having an appointment week this week that it's going smoothly. There's no gaslighting. You're leaving feeling a little bit more accomplished and like you have a plan and not just crying in tears. So I have wondered about a ketamine infusion again, but I want to wait and see if I can, I might see about that in another 6 months or so. I would have to go back to my old pain specialist for that because my new one doesn't offer those. I didn't get to chat to her about that, so I'm intrigued to see what other things she's got planned. So yeah, it's a long road, but thank you guys for being here, and I just really hope that, I don't know, I just hope that sharing some of this stuff can help some people feel a little bit less alone in your struggles, and like you can fight for what you need and stand up for yourself in those sort of situations because you deserve it and you're worth it. So you deserve to have a good life, and living isn't being in bed in constant pain all the time, but there's got to be some form of managing it. So it's not easy. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. Stepping back from everyone and everything has also been the hardest thing, but I've had to focus on myself because if I did not, I would not be here right now making this video. So that's a tough pill to swallow, but that's something I need to be real with myself. That my depression has gotten really bad. Trigger warning, my suicidal ideation's gotten a whole lot worse. I have needed to step back and remind myself that I'm important, and that I'm not a piece of shit, and that I'm trying so hard to do everything I can to better this, and unfortunately not everyone's going to get that, and it might cause some strain, but whoever's meant to be in your corner is going to be there, and they're going to be there for you. This community online has just been a life-changing thing for me. Being able to reach out and speak to people and, you know, even speak to you guys from all over the world. It's incredible. I honestly feel really blessed that I've made these connections with you, and I think we're going to do some cool shit with Endo and change the narrative a bit. And as hard as it is, I'm glad I've got you guys doing it with me. But I'm going to go because this is like 20 minutes long, I swear, and that's crazy. But sending lots of love, sending healing vibes. I just really hope that there's low pain days and, you know, little frustration today. I just hope that you can get some peace. Good luck with your appointments, and don't forget that it's your appointment. It's yours. You tell them what you need as well. As much as they can offer suggestions, you tell them what you think will work with your body, and they work with you. You put that foot down.